The auction square was filled with cold voices and cruel eyes. Chains clinked against the stone floor as the girl was dragged forward. Her wrists were red, her ankles sore, but she did not cry. She had learned long ago that tears brought no mercy. Here. Around her, alien merchants shouted numbers, each one treating her as nothing more than a tool. The air smelled of rust and smoke. Strange banners hung above the square, written in a language she could not read. The crowd of aliens leaned forward, eager to see who would buy the next servant. They whispered among themselves, and their laughter felt like knives. She kept her head down. She was only one of many sold today. To them she was not a person, not even a name, just property. The last master had called her broken, said she was slow, and traded her away. She knew what came next. Work until her body gave out, pain when she made mistakes, silence when she begged for rest. The auctioneer raised his voice. His words echoed through the chamber. A rare servant, strong, young, trained to obey. Who will make the first offer? The bidding began. Sharp voices called out numbers. She did not look up. She knew there would be no kindness in the one who bought her. She prepared herself for the next chapter of suffering. But then, silence. The crowd shifted. Heavy boots clicked against the stone. She felt the air change. Slowly, against her will, she lifted her eyes. He was human. The sight shocked her. The sight shocked. Humans were rare here. Rumors said they were stubborn, dangerous, even foolish. Most aliens mocked them, saying they were too emotional, too reckless to survive long in the galaxy. Yet here one stood, tall and quiet, dressed not in chains or fine robes, but in simple clothes that looked worn from travel. His eyes, sharp and steady, locked on her. The auctioneer cleared his throat, nervous. The human bids. Who will answer? The crowd hesitated. No one wished to challenge too strongly. Humanity's name carried strange weight even in a place where they were outnumbered. After a long pause, the auctioneer slammed his staff down. Sold. The chains at her wrists clattered as she was pulled toward him. She braced for a strike, a cruel command, something to remind her she was nothing. But he did not raise his hand. He only nodded once to the guard, then took hold of the chain himself. His grip was firm, yet not cruel. The girl waited. Surely the mask would fall soon. Surely he would reveal himself as every master did, cold and unforgiving. He said nothing as they left the square. The path wound through crowded streets, filled with alien voices, bright lights, and metal towers reaching toward the sky. She stumbled once, her legs weak, and expected him to drag her. Instead, he stopped and let her catch her breath. That small pause unsettled her more than cruelty would have. Finally, they reached a quiet quarter, far from the noise of the markets. He opened a heavy door and guided her inside. The room was plain but warm. A small fire burned in the corner, filling the space with soft light. There were no chains on the walls, no cages, no tools of punishment. Only a simple table, 2 chairs, and a bed pushed against the wall. He unfastened the lock around her wrists. The chains fell with a dull sound on the floor. She froze, waiting for the trick. Sit, he said. His voice was calm, steady. She sat, tense, her eyes darting around for hidden whips or collars, but none came. Instead, he placed a bowl of food in front of her. Real food, warm bread, clean water, and meat. Her stomach growled, but she dared not touch it. Eat, he said. She looked at him, searching his face for cruelty. His expression did not change. He simply waited. Hesitant, she took a small bite. The taste filled her mouth, rich and soft, unlike the scraps she had been fed before. She ate another bite, then another, and soon the bowl was empty. She felt ashamed for eating, so fast, but he did not scold her. Instead, he leaned back, watching her with unreadable eyes. Her heart raced. She could not understand this. Why no anger? Why no pain? What did he want from her? When night fell, he gave her a blanket. She curled up in the corner, clutching it like a shield. The warmth wrapped around her body, but her mind stayed restless. She told herself this was just another game, another trick to break her spirit. Tomorrow the cruelty would come. Tomorrow, the chains would return. But as she closed her eyes, she remembered the moment his hand had unlocked her cuffs. His grip had been steady, not cruel. His voice had been calm, not sharp. For the first time in years, she felt a tiny spark of something she had forgotten. Hope. She pushed it away, afraid to believe in it, but deep inside, it refused to die. Morning light crept through the small window. She woke with a start, clutching the blanket tightly. For a moment she had forgotten where she was. No chains on her wrists, no guards shouting, no whip crackling in the air, only silence. Then she remembered. The human. Her eyes darted across the room. He sat at the table, quiet and still, watching something on a small glowing device. His back was straight, his shoulders broad. His calm presence filled the room, yet it also unsettled her. He turned his head. Their eyes met. She froze. Most masters had eyes like ice, cold, sharp, and eager to command. But his eyes were different. They were steady, deep, like he was searching for something hidden inside her. She did not know what he saw, but the weight of his gaze made her heart pound. He set the device aside and spoke. "You are free to eat, there is more food." His voice was calm, not harsh. She hesitated. Free? She had never been free to eat. Masters gave food as reward or punishment, never as choice. She looked at the table, bread, fruit, and a steaming bowl of soup. The smell made her stomach ache with hunger, but suspicion held her back. He noticed. "It is yours, take it." Slowly, she moved closer. Her hands shook as she picked up the bread. She expected him to strike her for being too slow. Instead, he waited. She took a bite. The bread was soft, warm, better than anything she remembered. She ate more, her body desperate for strength, yet with every bite her fear grew stronger. What did he want in return? When she finished, he pushed a cup toward her. Clear water. She drank, wiping her lips nervously. "Why?" she asked softly, her voice breaking. He tilted his head. "Why? What? Why feed me? Why not hurt me?" Her words stumbled. Speaking freely felt dangerous. The human leaned back in his chair. For a long time he said nothing. His eyes studied her, not with cruelty, but with something else she could not name. Finally he answered, "Because I do not believe in chains." Her chest tightened. The words sounded strange, impossible. Every master believed in chains. Chains were power. Chains were law. She shook her head. No one thinks that." "I do," he said simply. Silence stretched between them. She stared at him, searching for the trap. Maybe he was playing with her, making her lower her guard before the cruelty began, but his face did not change. Later, he handed her clean clothes, simple but soft against her skin. She touched the fabric in disbelief. She had always worn rags. "Change," he said. Then, after a pause, "No chains." She changed in the corner, clutching the blanket for cover. The new clothes fit well, loose but warm. She looked at herself, almost not recognizing the reflection, in the small metal mirror. For the first time, she did not look like property. The human studied her again. His eyes did not burn with desire or cruelty. They were calm, thoughtful, like he was measuring her spirit, not her body. "Who are you?" she whispered. "Someone who believes you deserve more," he said. Her throat tightened. She wanted to ask more, but footsteps outside interrupted. Heavy boots, voices speaking in the alien tongue she knew too well. Her blood turned cold. Guards. A knock thundered against the door. The human stood, his shoulders straightened, his calm face turning into something harder. The door swung open. A guard stepped in, tall, armored, with cruel eyes. He sneered at the sight of her, then spat words filled with venom. "She is property," the guard barked. "Return her." The girl trembled, pressing back against the wall. Her heart sank. Of course. It had all been a trick. The chains would return now. But then she saw the human move. He stepped in front of her, blocking the guard's view. His voice was sharp, but steady. "No, she's mine, and under my protection." The guard laughed, cruel and mocking. "A human? You defy the law? She belongs to the markets. You cannot keep her." The human did not move. His eyes locked on the guard's, unshaken. "She does not belong to you. She does not belong to anyone." The guard's smile faded. The tension thickened in the air. Behind him, more footsteps gathered. More soldiers. The girl's breath quickened. She knew what happened when a master defied the law. They would both be punished. Yet the human stood tall, unafraid. His presence filled the room, his calm eyes burning with something fierce, now something the guards did not expect. The girl clutched the blanket, her mind racing. Was he mad? Why risk himself for her? Why face the galaxy's cruelty for someone worth nothing? The guards shouted again, demanding surrender. The human's hand moved toward the door controls. His voice dropped to a whisper, but she heard it, clearly. "Stay behind me." The door sealed shut, locking out the guards. Alarms blared. The girl's heart pounded in her chest. The human turned to her, his eyes steady once more. "They will come again, but I will not let them take you." She stared at him, her body shaking, her mind unable to believe his words. No one had ever stood for her. No one had ever cared. And yet here he was, a human, defying the galaxy itself. For the first time, she wondered if chains truly could be broken. The alarms outside grew louder. Red lights flashed across the walls. The girl's breath came fast and sharp. She pressed herself into the corner, clutching the blanket, as if it could shield her from what was coming. The human stood tall, calm, even as the noise shook the room. His hand moved quickly over the door panel, locking the seals tight. The pounding from the guards echoed, but the door held. She stared at him. Why was he doing this? No master had ever stood against the guards for a servant. No one had ever chosen a slave over their own safety. He turned to her. "You must listen," he said firmly. "You are not a slave. Not anymore. I will not let them chain you again." Her lips trembled. She wanted to believe him, but the words felt impossible. She had been told her whole life that she was property. Freedom was only a story whispered in dark corners. "You lie," she whispered. "Everyone lies." His eyes met hers, steady and unshaken. "Then test me. The door will not hold forever. If you wish to run, run now. If you stay by. Choice." Her chest tightened. Choice? The word felt heavy, foreign, dangerous. She had never been given choice. She had always been ordered, beaten, forced. Her hands shook. If I run, you will chase me. You will drag me back." "I will not," he said. She did not believe it. She could not. Yet there was something in his eyes, calm fire, not cruel, not false. She searched his face for the trick, but found none. The banging on the door grew louder. The guards shouted threats. The human ignored them. He stepped closer, not with anger, but with quiet strength. He handed her a small bundle of clothes, stronger than the ones she wore now. "Take these. Not slaves' rags. Yours." She clutched the fabric, stunned. Her mind screamed that this was a trap, but her heart whispered something else. She put the clothes on. They fit well. For the first time, she did not feel marked as property. She felt hidden, almost safe. The human watched but said nothing. His silence felt strange. Other masters filled silence with orders or cruelty. He filled it with patience. Her voice broke. "Why me? You could buy another. Stronger, obedient, not broken. He crouched down so his eyes were level with hers. His voice was calm but fierce. Because no one deserves chains. Not you. Not anyone. Her breath caught. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Not even in whispers. The pounding at the door stopped suddenly. Silence filled the room. Then came the sound of boots retreating. She frowned. They left? He shook his head. No. They wait. They prepare. Her stomach turned. The fear returned. They will punish you. They will punish both of us. His jaw tightened. Then let them try. Before she could answer, the room shook. A low hum vibrated beneath the floor. She froze, fear in her eyes. He touched a hidden panel by the wall. With a hiss, a section slid open, revealing a narrow passage lit by blue light. This way, he said. She hesitated. Was this another trick? Another cage? But the guards would return soon, and chains were worse than any unknown path. She stepped forward. He followed, sealing the panel behind them. The sound of the city faded, replaced by the quiet thrum of machines. The air smelled clean, metallic, almost sharp. The passage ended in a wide chamber. She gasped. A ship filled the space, sleek, dark, unlike anything she had ever seen. Its metal hull shimmered under the blue lights. Symbols she did not recognize glowed faintly along its sides. She stumbled back. What is this? The human's voice was steady. My ship, a Terran vessel. Here you are not property. Here you are free. Her heart pounded. Free. That word again, too heavy, too bright. She shook her head. You cannot mean this. Freedom is not real. It is only a story. His eyes softened. Then let me prove it is real. He extended his hand toward her. Not a command, not a chain. An invitation. Her chest ached. She wanted to take it, but fear held her back. If she believed him and it was false, the pain would destroy her. If she refused, she would never know. The pounding outside returned, faint but growing. The guards had found the hidden door. Her hand trembled. Slowly, she reached forward. Her fingers brushed his palm. Warm, steady, not cruel. For the first time in her life, she took a hand by choice. The ship's engines roared to life, shaking the chamber. Lights lit up across its surface. The human's voice rose above the thunder. Stay close, the galaxy will not forgive this, but I will not give you back. Her eyes widened. He was defying not just guards, not just laws, but the entire galaxy. For her, and in that moment she realized something terrifying. For the first time in her life, she had hope. The engines of the Terran ship rumbled like a beast awakening. The chamber lights flickered, casting long shadows across the walls. The girl stood frozen, her hand still in the human's, her heart racing faster than the roar of the thrusters. The pounding at the sealed doors grew louder. The guards had not given up. Their voices echoed in harsh alien tones, demanding the human release his property. The human did not flinch. His voice was calm but firm. They will break through soon. Once we lift, there is no turning back. She trembled. They will hunt you. They will hunt us both. He glanced at her. His eyes burned with quiet fire. Let them. Humanity does not bow. Her chest tightened. She did not understand this defiance. Every being she had ever known had bowed, obeyed, surrendered. But this human stood against the galaxy itself for her, and it made her knees weak. With disbelief, the ship's ramp lowered with a hiss. Lights traced along the hull, bright and sharp. She stepped back, fear rising. It felt too large, too alive, like stepping into the jaws of a monster. Come, he said. Her legs refused. I cannot. This is not for me. His gaze fixed on her, steady and unyielding. It is for you. This ship will not see you as chains, only as choice. You must decide. Stay and return to servitude, or step forward and claim your freedom. The doors behind them cracked. Sparks burst from the seams. The guards shouted louder. Her heart pounded. She had seconds to decide. Stay, and she would be dragged back to the market. Step forward, and she would walk into the unknown. She forced her legs to move. Step by step, she climbed the ramp. The metal vibrated beneath her feet. The human followed close behind, sealing the hatch as the first sparks of weapons fire hit the walls outside. Inside, the ship came alive. Panels lit with glowing symbols, engines hummed, and the air smelled of ozone. The girl clutched the wall, her fear mixing with awe. Sit, the human ordered, pointing to a seat. But his tone was not sharp, not cruel. It was protective. She obeyed, strapping in as he took the captain's chair. His hands moved swiftly across controls, and the ship lifted with a deep roar. The floor shook as the chamber collapsed beneath them. From the viewport, she saw the city shrinking below, towers of metal flashing with sirens. Alien ships were already scrambling into the sky, chasing them. Her breath caught. They come. No, he said calmly. His eyes narrowed as he guided the vessel higher. But this is not their sky anymore. The alien ships closed in, their sleek forms surrounding them. Red lights blinked on their wings. A warning. The comm crackled with an alien voice. Human vessel, surrender the slave. You have no rights here. This is your final warning. The girl's body froze. The word, slave, cut deep. She gripped the straps, shaking. Surely now he would give her up. Surely even he would bend under this threat. But his voice was steel. She is no slave. She is under Terran protection. Touch this ship, and you invite war. The comm fell silent. The alien pilots hesitated. Even she could see their fear. The word Terran carried weight, even here. Then the first shot came. A bright streak of plasma hit the shields, shaking the cabin. She screamed, covering her head. The human's hands flew over the controls. The ship spun sharply, engines roaring, shields flaring blue. More shots followed, lighting the void. Her stomach churned. She had never flown, never seen stars like this burning against the black. The speed, the fire, the danger, it was too much. She closed her eyes, whispering to herself, "This is a dream. This cannot be real." The human's voice cut through. "Look," she opened her eyes. Through the viewport, the alien ships formed a ring, blocking their path. More joined. Dozens of lights flashing. She gasped. "We cannot escape. There are too many." He smiled, calm and certain. "One ship is enough." Before she could ask what he meant, the Terran vessel roared forward. Panels slid open along the hull, revealing hidden weapons. Blue beams of light sliced the void. The first alien ship shattered, breaking apart in fire. Her jaw dropped. The ship was not just a vessel. It was a predator. The aliens panicked, scattering, shouting over comms. The human moved with precision, guiding the ship through them like a blade through water. Her fear shifted into something else. Wonder. The galaxy had always told her humans were weak, foolish, reckless. But as she watched one man and one ship defy an entire squadron, she realized the galaxy was wrong. Still, the danger grew. More ships poured in. The odds stretched thin. The human's voice was steady, but his jaw clenched. "They will not stop. Not until one of us is broken." Her chest ached. She wanted to speak, to beg him not to fight for her, but the words stuck in her throat. The ship shook violently as another plasma blast struck the shields. Sparks rained from the panels. The alarm screamed. She cried out, clutching the straps. "We cannot win." The human's eyes narrowed, fire burning inside them. "We do not win by surrender. We win by showing them humanity never breaks." The ship plunged into the black, weaving between fire and death. The girl's heart raced, torn between fear and awe. And deep inside, she realized something new, something more terrifying than the chains she once wore. She did not want to go back. She wanted to believe in him. The void around them burned with light. Alien ships streaked across the black sky, firing bursts of plasma that shook the Terran vessel. The girl gripped the seat so tightly her knuckles turned white. Every blast rattled through her bones, yet the human never wavered. His hands danced, across the controls, steady and sure. His eyes, sharp and unflinching, tracked every enemy move. To him, this chaos was not terror. It was a test. Shields holding, he muttered. Those sparks rained from the panels. We push forward. She swallowed hard. Her voice shook. Why risk this? Why risk everything? For me. His gaze flicked to her for only a second, but it was enough. Calm fire burned in his eyes. Because chains do not belong on anyone. Because freedom must start somewhere. And today, it starts with you. Her chest tightened. No one had ever spoken those words. No one had ever seen her as more than a tool, a servant, a slave. Now in the middle of fire and death, a human spoke to her as if she mattered more than the galaxy's laws. Outside, alien voices shouted over comms, ordering him to surrender. Their threats filled the air, promising death if he did not hand her over. He only smiled faintly. They fear what they do not understand. The ship surged forward, breaking through the blockade. Its weapons flared, blasting holes through the ring of enemies. Alien vessels spun away, some broken in fire, others retreating in panic. Still, more came. Too many. The girl's heart pounded. We cannot fight them all. He nodded once. No. But we do not need to. We only need to show them that humanity does not kneel. The engines roared, brighter, louder, pulling the ship into the darkness beyond. The stars stretched into long lines of light. Then, with a flash, the world outside vanished. Silence. The ship entered hyperspace, leaving the enemy far behind. The cabin grew quiet, only the hum of the engines filling the air. She released her breath, trembling. She had expected chains. She had expected pain. Instead, she now sat aboard a Terran ship, free from her masters, free from the market, free from the voices that once called her worthless. But her mind struggled to believe. Freedom felt too heavy, too unreal. Slowly she turned to him. It is over? For now, he said, leaning back in his chair. They will send more. They will not forget. But we are ahead of them, and you are safe. Safe. Another word she had never trusted. Her eyes dropped to her wrists. The scars were still there. Dark bands where chains once cut into her skin. For years, those scars had been proof she was nothing. Now, they felt like proof she had survived. She whispered, almost too softly to hear. I do not know what to do. His voice softened. You do not need to know now. Freedom is not learned in a day. It is lived step by step. Her throat tightened. She wanted to cry, but no tears came. She had forgotten how. The human stood, walking toward the viewport. He pressed a control and the stars shifted, filling the glass with endless light. Look, he said. She rose slowly, stepping closer. Her eyes widened. Beyond the glass stretched an ocean of stars, vast and unbroken. No walls, no guards, no chains, only space, wide and open. Her breath caught. It is beautiful. It is yours, he said quietly. No one owns you, not anymore. Out here, you breathe for yourself. Her body trembled. She reached out, pressing her palm against the glass, as if she could touch the stars. For the first time in her life, her heart felt light, unchained. She turned to him. Why me? He met her gaze. Because the galaxy needs to be reminded. Humanity fights not for power, not for greed, but for the truth that no one deserves chains. The words struck deep. She realized this man was not just saving her. He was making a statement to the entire galaxy. His defiance was more than rebellion. It was a message. Humanity would not stand by while others suffered. Her lips parted, a whisper escaping. Then I will not go back. Even if they come again. Even if it costs everything. His eyes softened. That is your choice. And now, at Last you have one. Silence filled the cabin, but it was no longer the silence of fear or chains or despair. It was the silence of freedom, the space before something new begins. The girl closed her eyes, breathing deeply, her first free breath. When she opened them again, her gaze burned brighter than before. The scars remained. The fear remained. But so did hope. For the first time, she believed it. She was no longer property. She was no longer broken. She was free. And, as the Terran ship cut through the stars, she knew one truth that would never fade. Humanity had given her more than escape. They had given her freedom.